Calum Ritchie is more than likely going to be a first-round pick in this year's draft. I think most people would be extremely shocked if he fell out of the first round. Most people have him projected in anywhere from the early teens to all the way back to the later first round, but he could go even earlier than that, with some people having him ranked, like Bob McKenzie having him ranked number 13, and Recruit Scouting having him number 12. You've got other people who just have him a lot higher too, like FC Hockey at number 10. So he is definitely a potential guy who could go very early in this year's NHL draft. And in this video, I'm going to be breaking down and giving you kind of a scouting report and a prospect profile on Calum Ritchie, the Oshawa Generals player, and a potential early first-round pick in this year's draft, or at least a mid-round pick. Now, as a Rangers fan, I am extremely hopeful that he will fall to the early 20s about where we're going to be picking, and hopefully my Rangers can take him. But I am a Canadian who watched quite a bit of OHL games last year, and as a Pete's fan, I definitely watched a lot of Oshawa Generals games, and he was a fantastic player. I got to watch him a decent amount, and although he was on a not great Oshawa Generals team, they were one of the worst teams in the league, he was still a very solid player and definitely a very good force on that team. He provided a lot of offense as well as a great two-way game. As a centerman, he is a great two-way game. He's not, one-trick pony where he's a defensive guy or a very offensively talented guy with no defensive game to him. He has an overall game that's just very, very good. He's 6'2", 187 pounds. Last year with the Oshawa Generals in the OHL, like I said, they were on a great team, barely squeaked into the playoffs as an 8 seed, but he was a 6'2", 187-pound centerman. His birthday's late January, so he's still an 18-year-old, still young, right-handed shot, a big, strong centerman, good size, pro-level size. He had 59 games played, 59 points, 24 goals, 35 assists. In the playoffs, he did quite well, though. 5 games played, 6 points, 2 goals, 4 assists. And like I said, he was on a not great team, and a guy like him, he's not good enough like a Connor Bedard to carry his team, but he's definitely just an all-around very good player, was a very talented player, wore the assistant captain, was a penalty killer, and just an all-around great player. And, on a not great Oshawa Generals team, he did quite well, as well as playing for the U18s for Canada at 7 games played, 3 goals, 6 assists, 9 points, with a +8 there, obviously fantastic. And at the Hlinka Gretzky Cup, had 5 games played, 4 goals, 6 assists, 10 points, and he was an absolute monster there. So he's been a quite good player at the national level for Team Canada, as well as with the Oshawa Generals, where he had a point per game last season and was a very, very talented player. And like I said, in the playoffs, he produced as well against a very good team. So that is great to see as well. But, like I said, his pro size, 6'2", 187 pounds. He's a centerman. Top-tier hockey IQ. Is a very, very smart player. He's got great hands. He's very good at getting into scoring areas and being able to produce and just being a lethal offensive player. He's not like an elite, purely dynamic offensive guy. He's just a very smart, talented offensive player and can definitely get the job done. He's got a good hard wrist shot. A very creative playmaker as well, and sometimes he can be a little too unselfish with his playmaking, and maybe should hold on to the puck and try and make a move or try and just create his own scoring chances. Sometimes he doesn't do that as good. Maybe he makes the extra pass sometimes, and when he should shoot the puck or should make a move and try and put the game on his stick and try and bury the goal and do it all himself. Sometimes he's a little too unselfish, but the next level, if he's playing with some dynamic, wingers, that'll definitely be good for him, because if he can, at the next level, if he can be with, some really good goal-scoring wingers, I definitely think that's going to help him exceed to his capabilities, to his peak, is definitely going to be with some goal-scoring wingers. And, he's definitely a very strong player on the puck, is good at, carrying the puck up the ice and getting into the zone, maintaining possession. Like I said, he's a very talented player, and if he can get working with some goal-scoring wingers, I definitely think that is probably going to be what's best for him at the next level. Like I said, he's an assistant captain, and one thing with him is a little inconsistent. His goal scoring, his playmaking, his point production was a little inconsistent this season, and that's kind of why he stayed at about a point per game, where some other guys who were going to go in the first round kind of excelled and went a lot higher. But also, you do have to put it in perspective that he's a centerman. So sometimes, centermen, for the most part, aren't going to score as much as some wingers. And he's also, a good two-way guy as well. So he's obviously getting some penalty kill time as well. That's going to affect him, as his overall ice time and stuff like that. But he's still a fantastic offensive player. And, on a not great Oshawa Generals team, they were one of the bottom-tier teams in the OHL. They just weakened the playoffs as an 8 seed. He was not on a great team, so he still produced at a very good level. Was still a very talented player. And, another thing that's kind of not great with him. His skating is about average, and that's kind of why he might fall in the draft. His skating is definitely not elite by any means, but he still was a great penalty killer, has a great overall defensive game, and is a very good compete level, as well as he's very coachable. Seems like a great player, seems like a great guy off the ice as well. A good leader, obviously, being an assistant captain, so as an overall player, he just has what you want. He's an assistant captain, very smart player, good in the offensive zone, good in the defensive zone, decent goal scorer, not an elite goal scorer, but a very talented goal scorer. That's a great shot, a great playmaker, good hands. As an overall player, he's a fantastic player, but definitely needs to fix some things. Like I said, being a little too unselfish at times is maybe what's holding him back. His overall production needs to be a little more consistent, but other than that, he's a very talented player, and as a Rangers fan, if he falls to the early 20s, I would be more than happy with taking him at that spot. I think that'd be an absolutely fantastic pick. And when you take a look at where some other people have him ranked, Elite Prospects have him at number 28. You had FC Hockey number 10. Daily Faceoff at number 23. The Hockey News at number 25. Bob McKenzie at number 13. McKean's at number 21. Craig Button at number 25. Sportsnet at number 22. Dopa Prospects number 24. Draft Prospects Hockey number 13. Like, he is truly all over the place. Anywhere from like number 10 to like, the mid to late 20s in the draft is where you're going to expect him, and I definitely do not see him falling into the first round. I would be extremely shocked, and if he did fall into the first round, I think that'd be an absolute steal for whichever team takes him. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have, please smash the like button, and definitely hit the subscribe button for more prospect content. I have a ton of prospect content coming out, so if you're a Rangers fan, or if you're just a hockey fan in general, definitely stay tuned. I have a lot of NHL and prospect content coming out this offseason, so definitely stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching, and see ya.